Hi all. We are in continue page number 4 for All in a Summer Day, written by Ray Bradbury. The silence was so immense and unbelievable that you felt your ears had been stuffed or you had lost your hearing altogether. So there was very last silence, the huge, immense silence. That means huge or deep silence was there, and it was unbelievable because there was no silence before, and ears had been stuffed. That means something has been like a silence has been, you know, uh, their ears had been stuffed before, full of hearing a lot of sound, but today it's like a very quiet the situation. The children put their hands to their ears. They stood apart. The door slid back, and the smell of the silent. They tasted the smell of the silent outside. Waiting world come into them. The sun came out. It was the color of flaming bronze, and it was very large. So now they were very surprised. They were like very excited to see the sun. And it is explained like this: a metal flaming bronze is kind of metal, and it is flame or torn red or like a flame or fire. So they see like a color of flaming bronze, and it was very large, and the sky around it was blazing blue fire color. So the sky blue color around it, and the jungle burned with the sunlight as the children released from their spell rushed out yelling into the springtime. So the children were out from their room, they were released, and they were rushed out yelling. That means making noise, shouting in the springtime. Now don't go too far, called the teacher after them. So the teacher said, don't go too far, children. You have only 2 hours, you don't have more times. The sun has come in Venus, but it is just for 2 hours. Just remember it. So after some time, there will be no sun. You wouldn't want to get caught out. You wouldn't want to get trapped in the dark, or you will not see sun after that. So don't go over 2 hours. But they were running and turning their faces up to the sky and feeling the sun off their cheeks like a warm iron. They feel like it's very warm and like an iron. They were taking off their jackets and letting the sun burn their arms. So they were taking out their jackets and they were letting sun getting in their skin, burn their arms. Oh, it's better than the sun lamps, isn't it? So they were using sun lamp instead of sun because sun was not coming in Venus. So after 7 years, they had experience to see the sun for 2 hours. Much better. They stopped running and stood in the great jungle and covered Venus. That covered Venus. The Venus was covered by great jungle that grew, never stopped growing tumultuously or tumultuously. So because um, it tumultuous means making a loud, confused. They were confused noise. They were going over there, and even as vast it, and was nest of octopi clustering a great arms of like a flesh weed wavering flowering in this brief spring. So he explained about the forest. The writer is explaining the forest in a different way. So many things has been explained about the forest here. So because of he said nest of octopi is describing the jungle that due to rain it becomes very dense with weeds, the weeds and etc. So the writer explaining with metaphorically to jungle to or for anything at this time. So it was color of rubber as this jungle from many years without sun. It was color of stones and white cheeses and ink. It was the color of moon. The children lay out laughing on the huge, the jungle mattress, um, and had it sigh and squeak and under them, resilient, alive. So they were like, feels like now they're alive, resilient now. They ran among the trees. They slipped and fell because they were very happy, so they don't care. While they run, so they slipped, they fall, and they fell, and they pushed each other. They played hide and hide, but they were running and turning their faces up to the sky and feeling the sun on their cheeks like a warm iron. So they were feeling the sun warmth on their face. They were taking off their jackets, letting sun burn their arms. So they were so happy. They say, "Oh, it's better. Oh, it's better. The sun, lamb, isn't it? Much better." They stopped running. They stood in a great jungle that covered Venice, and so this all happened. So, um, so thing is like, it was the color of rubber as the jungle was. The jungle from the many years without sun. It was color of stone without cheese and ink. So it was the color of moon. The children lay out laughing in jungle mattress and had its sighs quake under the resilient alive. And among the tree and they sleep, they fell, they push each other, they play hide and seek, and tag. Most of all, they squinted at the sun until the tears ran down their faces. So, students, I have just repeated some of the sentences in here in the paragraph, so that you can repeat again. So it's not like in the story. So a little bit change from here, so you will understand. I have a few sentences, they are repeated in my slide. Okay, so we'll go to read for the next slide very soon. Thank you. Hello, students. Continue. Slide number 5. um, the story continue. Lina summer day. Now the kids, they put their hands up to that yellowness and that amazing blueness, and they breathe of the fresh air and listen to the silence which suspended them in a blessed sea. No sound, no motion. Now they look at everything and savor everything. Then wildly, like animals escape from their caves, they were like a wild animals now because of happy. They couldn't control. They ran and ran in shouting circles. They ran for an hour, did not stop running. um, and then midst of the running of the one of the girls wailed. That means a girl started crying, shouting. Everyone stopped. The girl is standing in open, held out of her hand. "Oh, look, look," she said, trembling. She came slowly to look at her open palm. In her hands, in the palm, in the center of it, the cup of the palm, and a huge was single raindrop. She began to cry, looking at it. They glanced quietly at the sun, and then, oh, oh, a few cold drops fell on their noses, their cheeks, and their face. The sun faded behind stir and mist. So now the raindrop started. A wind blew cold around them. They turned and started to walk back to the underground house. Their hands and their slides, their smile, their sides, their smiles vanishing away. So everything, the happiness and their moment were vanishing away. A boom of thunder startled them like leaves, like startled, and then like a leaves before a new hurricane. They tumbled upon each other and ran. So in the wind, like the leaves, like they tumble each other, kind of. They also became same. They tumble each other and ran. Lightning struck 10 miles away, 5 miles away, a mile and a half mile. So the lightnings in every time, 10 miles, 5 miles, a mile and a half mile, the lightning was on and on. The rain started. The sky darkened into the midnight in a flash. So the sky turned into dark because there is no sun now. They stood in the doorway of the underground for a moment until it was raining hard. So they stood over there. So then they closed the door, heard the gigantic sound of the rain falling. Tons and avalanche were everywhere, um, forever now, like a before. The heavy rain, like a snow avalanches, the rain waterfall everywhere forever now started for 7 years. So sadly, the children were very sad at this time. And will it be 7 more years? Yes, 7. Then one of them gave a little cry. The one children cried, Margot, what? She's still in the closet? Why we locked her? Margot, they stood as so they started saying, Margot, if someone had driven them like so many sticks into floor into the floor, and they looked at each other and then looked away. They glanced out the world that was raining now and raining and raining steadily. Now the rain already started. They just glance, they just watch shortly, and they couldn't meet each other's glances. Their faces were slim and pale, were full of, like a sadness, or the pale color or the yellow color their face turned into. They looked at their hands and feet, their faces down. So they were looking at their feet down, hands down. They were not up looking. They were not happy. They were like sad. Margot, one of the child, said, well, no one moved. Go on, whispered the girl. They walked slowly down the hall in the sound of cold rain. They turned through the doorway to the room in the sound, and the storm and thunder. So there was a big storm, and the lightning and thunder on their faces blew. I mean, lightning on their faces. That lightning getting in even the house, because there was lightning outside and there was thunder. So blue and terrible. They walked over to the closet door slowly and stood by it. Behind the closet door was silent, so they already locked her in the closet, and they forgot to Margot to unlock her. They only went out to see the sun. It is so sad. Margot was waiting to see the sun, but she didn't get chance because they locked her in the closet. They unlocked the door even more slowly. They were so sad. They were like unlocked the door. They unlocked the door even more slowly and let Margot out. So that way their happiness will end, children. So this is the story, but it is the story you would like to read again and again. You would like to go through all the sentences again and again. So, but it is anyway the story that you will enjoy in reading. Like sometime, like in the happy moment, they are like very happy, and when they are very sad, they're so it's like a up and down moment in the story. The writer has expressed his views in the rain and forest in very differently, and then elaborating it in with using a full of the literature. So children, so this is the end of this story. Thank you very much and have a good day.